All right.
It should be streamed 2 minutes ago.
All right. It should be live at the moment now. I'm hoping.
Nope. Nope. Still don't see anything pop up yet that said live.
All right. Hold on. If anybody's watching right now, we just had some pretty good technical difficulties trying to. Okay, perfect. I do see it live. Perfect. All right. Let's get this thing started again. Sorry about that, everybody. Yes, we had some major technical difficulties. I'm trying to learn a new software because YouTube has changed what we used to use, which was Google Hangouts for a lot of the drivers on YouTube. So they did change that. But I have Dustin on, so we're going to be trying to talk about AB5 and some of the crazy stuff there. So, hey, Dustin, what's going on?
What's going on, man? What's going on, everybody out there? Talking about some AB5, and a lot of people think it deserves the Smakovich.
That it does. Absolutely, for sure. So, let's, I guess, first start by saying or talking about what, kind of, I guess maybe what drivers have been talking about since you've been reaching out to quite a few on the channel and what they've been responding and how they've been responding.
Well, so far it seems like a lot of drivers do not want to be employees, okay? Bottom line, I don't want to be an employee. Pretty sure you don't. And a lot of people out there don't. We all just want rates to increase. Now, a lot of people right now thinking that AB5 is going to suddenly make all that happen, when in reality, Uber and Lyft can just skirt around everything. They can still get around and end up still treating drivers the way they are now. And for proof of that is like a video I just did today with what's going on in New York City, in your market. So they're already starting to put restrictions on things, on how many drivers can be out there on the road. And that is just something that we've been all talking about when they said things are, like fear mongering and stuff like that. But no, we're all just out there putting out the information, letting drivers know that the possibilities are real. Things can really take a turn for the worse. Like, you think you got it bad now? Wait till your actual employees. They just got done firing 400 some more employees. So job security is not out there no matter what you're thinking of, guys.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, it's when I first saw it back in May, I think it was when it came out and it passed the assembly, it just it wasn't good. Nothing was good about it, at least in my opinion. And then if you actually look further into it more in depth, one of the biggest things seems that it's more a money grab for the state. So I don't know if you've paid attention or anything, but they're expected to gain about $7 billion to $9 billion in additional tax revenue from changing people who are independent contractors to employees. So that doesn't seem like it's really out for the drivers or trying to reclassify drivers as employees for a particular reason. But actually, in fact, they're trying to get a tax grab by transitioning independent contractors to employees to gain more taxes. So what do you think on that part?
I definitely totally agree with you. That's exactly what it is. And then I think also I was being told and reading stuff that they might retroactively apply all this. So all of a sudden drivers would have to pay taxes from, the years that they've been driving. And that wouldn't be good for drivers either.
Damn.
And we all know, who's representing drivers? That's what we really want to know. How is any of this really going to benefit drivers if we don't know exactly what's going on in the bill? We don't know who is going to be representing us. And I don't like that at all. I don't like the fact of, they're making the senator is kind of the guy that's negotiating. And then what's what we want and what he wants are going to be totally different things.
Yeah. So it's actually kind of interesting because the governor was the mayor of San Francisco? Yeah, it was right in that area, and he was all schmoozy with Silicon Valley, because, hey, they're going to pay you money. So now it's an interesting situation, especially since from the news that I've heard is that he wants to make a 2024 presidential run. So, you got to play a fine line right now, because are you going to piss off?
He needs Uber's money right there, because Uber's worth, they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Oh, yeah.
So if he can come to agreements with them to make things work in California, I'm sure there's some kind of kickback deal at the end somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. I mean, there's something. So he has until, what is it, October 13th to sign the bill?
I think that's when it is.
Yeah, so he up until October 13th, so it's a month away from today, Friday the 13th. Of course, we have some crazy technical difficulties, and it's a full moon tonight. So anybody who's going out driving, just be careful out there for sure. But yeah, I mean, so he has a month to actually go and sign the bill, which means there's a lot that can happen in the next month. So yeah, Uber and Lyft have sent out emails to everybody that we've probably both seen all of the emails already, which Uber said they're not changing a damn thing. And then Lyft has said, we're going to put shifts in place. We're going to put, you can only drive in certain locations, and you won't be able to have more than what's actually, oh my God, what's the other stipulation they said?
They said that you'll be restricted in certain areas.
Yep.
There's some restricted areas.
Schedule and
be able to work for one platform.
That's right.
And scheduled shifts.
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting to hear. It's funny because yesterday's live stream, you were talking on your channel about how would they schedule that? How would you be responsible to schedule all of these people in California? The only thing I could think of is if they had like a window where you could kind of pick and choose the times that were allowed for you to drive, and then you could say, oh, I'll drive from this time to this time, this time to this time, and kind of set your schedule that route. That's the only thing I could think of.
And even that, I don't even know how that would work, because, things come up all the time, and that's the whole point of these gigs, is for you to be able to log on and off whenever you want. You know what I mean? Because we all know plans change.
Yep. And
I think right now that unless some kind of different negotiation goes down, that there's so many different possibilities of what could actually become of rideshare in California. And I hate to say it, but I don't think it's as good as drivers are hoping for.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, it's funny because you and I have very similar outlooks when it comes to AB5, when it comes to driving, because we're both drive part-time. And we always say you want to have different revenues and different ways of making money, or doing something, and different side gigs and multiple ways to do it, not just stick to one.
Always have backup plans.
Yeah, exactly. And AB5 could limit a lot of people in the state of California, because one of the big things is it going to be worth it to pay drivers overtime, or are they going to say we're only going to pay you part-time? Because what is it, 80 or 90% of drivers only drive part-time anyways and drive less than 10 hours. So if you get drivers who are okay with the shifts, if that's the case, and let's say it's just 4-hour increments. I mean, we don't know. We're just playing a speculation game at this moment. So people who watch this live stream aren't going to be like, oh, you're just speculating. Well, no shit, we're speculating, because nobody really knows. But if you get that 4-hour or 6-hour window or something in a schedule, like maybe like Monday and then Friday, Saturday or something, that's going to account for nearly most of the drivers that are driving in California to begin with, because again, they're driving part-time instead of doing it even half of full-time, like 20 or 30 hours. There's a lot of drivers that are way less than that. So, people are like, oh yeah, we're still going to be able to drive 50, 60 hours because Uber's going and Lyft are going to say that's going to be, more cost effective, because they're going to want to get passengers, but you don't know that. And if they're paying overtime on $21, or if that's the right number, what is that, $33 or something like that now per hour? So are they going to do that or what?
And that would still be before expenses and everything too, instead of after expenses.
Yep.
Which would put you right back down to $21 an hour.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, I think it's a great starting point because it's the Wild West out there. So when you're driving or when we're out there and when they cut rates like what it used to be a few years ago. I started 4 years ago. I forget how long ago did you start?
Just about 4 years ago as well.
Okay, so yeah, we both experienced the rates that it was before. And I was driving in Charlotte when I started and then took about a year off because I was moving back to the place that didn't have it yet, which is Western New York. But yeah, driving down there, you were making a great buck. And then you start taking that away from drivers and more, and it goes to that like Oliver story. Please, sir, can I have some more?
I know, right? Yeah, when I started, we were getting $2.25 a mile.
Phew, that's crazy.
So that's big bucks right there compared to the 60, 70 cents or even 90 cents that that's been going down. And that's why I'm so excited to drive back up, drive up here in Jersey because it's like 125 or something.
That's nice.
So
that's a little higher than here.
Over double of what I was usually used to making.
Yeah. So just looking at some of the comments, nothing smooth Uberator, nothing will good come of this. This is a move, government power move. Yeah, I mean, do you really think? And here's the thing: AB5 is not just Uber, Lyft, and gig economy. It encounters many other industries, so it has
like truckers and everything else. Yeah, there's so much
truckers,
involved.
strippers, and these people are making good money, and they've worked hard to get where they are. And is AB5 going to actually end up screwing these people out of maybe more pay or something like that, just as a money grab to, for taxes? That's I don't know. That's what I see it.
That's exactly how I think That's how I feel it is too. And then, like you said, he's like up for election. So it's like it doesn't seem like it's very trustworthy to have California drivers, future in the palm of this guy's hands with his, investigating and stuff. Or, oh man, my dog got loose.
Uh-oh. If you want to grab him, go for it.
Dogs, get over here. Darling.
Well, it is Friday the 13th, everybody. So it's kind of expected that there's going to be some crazy shit going on. So sorry for all of that. We were trying to do, like I said, Google Hangouts, 97 cents a mile in Jersey. Okay. Maybe that is the right one. But either way, that's still a little bit better than what my rate is, which is nice. So lucky for you guys. Keep that up. But yeah, I guess we'll go into the comments right now until Dustin's able to get back. But yeah, it's just a crazy thing. Uber should pull out of California, and then the people who are customers will push back on the state legislator. Yeah, you know what? If Uber left or walked out of there, that could be a huge thing. Just because, all good there?
Yeah, Friday the 13th has been crazy out here.
Oh yeah.
If Uber and Lyft, then it's reality. It's like you're either in the Matrix or you're out of Matrix. Either way, it's all crazy. It's all crazy. It's all crazy.
Yeah, so I do apologize, guys. It is absolutely nuts. Like I said, we were trying to do a Google Hangout so it would go screen share. Right now, I have to resort to the phone while I work and learn a new software called OBS, which some people might know or not, which you can do Skype phone calls over OBS. But unfortunately, I was not able to get that to work in time, so we're going to do it this way for a little bit. So it's going to be a little bit off of what we were kind of expecting. But yeah, and then Dustin's dogs are getting out. Whoops. But yeah.
Dog crazy. The world is definitely coming to an end, guys. Watch out. Backup plans might not even save you. They might not even save you.
Yeah. Be in a full night if you get, like I said, if you guys are going out driving tonight, be 100% careful out there. Whatever you do, because it's going to be absolutely crazy. I'm not driving. I'm going actually to play a game, Cards Against Humanity, with a bunch of friends of mine. So I'm really happy with that.
Awesome game, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have that game.
Oh, it's so much fun. But yeah, I was going through a couple of comments. So, oh yeah, Chris Klotz said Uber should pull out of California. Then the people who are customers will push back on the state legislator. Uber's a big deal for customers. And I was agreeing with that, where if Uber did decide to pull out, which I don't see that happening, but it's very possible, if they decided to pull out for whatever reason, all the passengers that use the service, whether they're high-end top CEOs or from airports, which they just pulled out of that one airport earlier, which you kind of covered a little bit ago. Not sure really the story behind.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
As if things can't get any crazier today.
Yeah. So I mean, people are using it. People use the service. It's the concept is amazing. Uber and Lyft are absolutely amazing concept wise. Execution wise and administrative and executive side, not so great as we're seeing. And now you're getting these big wigs from the legislator coming in and saying, no, you're doing everything all wrong. You're now classified as employees for the drivers, and you're going to pay that. And if that retroactive shit happens, wow, that's going to be bad.
That's a smacking bitch to all the drivers out there. Oh my God, they will be hurting.
I don't know.
I suddenly owe $30,000. Like, who the hell has that kind of money?
I want to know though, how does that even make sense? Like, how can you even go retroactive? Like, isn't there something like in the government system that you can't go back? Like, if you did something that was illegal today, that was legal today, and tomorrow they said, oh, I'm sorry, it's illegal. They can't go back to the day before and say, oh, we're going to arrest you because you committed what we have now made as a crime.
Yeah, it's got to be something.
So, I don't know if that's like habeas corpus or something or one of them, but it's like, how does that not work? And then you still have to pay taxes in an independent contractor. You just pay it differently. You're paying 1099 versus W-2, so you're not paying the same type of taxes. You're not paying Medicare. You're not paying Social Security. You're not paying, the normal tax bracket, because you can get different types of tax deductions. So yeah, it's just absolutely crazy, especially if that's retroactive. I can't believe that.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be just like what Vegas is saying here in the chat. He said if they have to employ 400,000 drivers or around there, it doesn't make sense for them to stay there. Uber would have to charge more to the rider, which definitely I agree. But I honestly don't think that AB5 is going to go all the way. I think something is going to happen with the senator. They're going to come to some kind of arrangement, and that's what drivers are going to be stuck with. And then they could risk having to have these shifts or restricted to driving certain, locations, and maybe potentially even only sticking with Uber or Lyft. Mm-hmm. I think things are going to go down. Drivers are going to, get what they want in one way, but at the same time, not. Because just like Uber has been doing for a while, they don't have to follow the rules right away or anything else. There's litigation. There's ways for them to draw things out for years. So AB5 will not automatically give you power and make it so you're an employee. It won't work like that. And I don't think I had someone yesterday on my call-in even said that Uber can't afford. They can't afford that many employees, and they sure as hell couldn't manage them. I mean, they outsource Uber support as it is, and they can't even manage that. They just fired 400 people, a week ago. 400, a couple of weeks before that. They're trying to get rid of employees, not put more on, and they flat out said that no matter what, they will do whatever it takes to ensure we stay independent contractors, one way or another.
Yeah. And, here's the thing. They could What happens if they're found to be in non-compliance with the law if it gets signed and it goes into effect? So it's supposed to go into effect January 1st, 2020, if it gets signed into law. So if Uber says, "Hey, we're not switching that," then they're going to have to go to the courts. They're going to have to take them to court. And then it's just going to be this long battle going back and forth with appeals, with everything. And it's just going to keep going for years and years. It's not going to be like this short, simple little transition or switchover or something.
I totally agree. And I'm just mainly glad I'm not in California and this will not affect me directly, at least not right away.
No, but you live in Jersey now, and Jersey's a higher tax state, just like New York. And that's where I am, and it's very possible.
So this is possible that something like this could happen to us eventually as well. So that's why it would be nice to see how Uber and Lyft and all these other gigs respond to what goes down and happens in California.
Yeah.
Because as we see right now, I mean, starting on the 17th, they actually have to finally comply with their agreements that they happened in New York City in those 5 boroughs. Now they have to start complying with. Well, if there's not enough riders out there for demand, then you can only have so many drivers on at once. So all those full-time drivers, guess what, guys? Say bye-bye. You ain't going to be out there driving whenever you want anymore.
Yeah. And it's one step closer to making them employees because, like, they've done the minimum wage. They're doing only allowed so many drivers on at a time based on demand. And are you going to be in a queue? And if that goes into effect, or when that goes into effect, are they going to be in a queue then, kind of like the airport, and says, "Oh, you're 12 people away from going online," and that could be 2 hours, that could be 5 minutes. Who knows? I mean, or are you just going to be able to try to go online and say, "Oh, there's not enough demand. Sorry, try later."
Basically, that's what it sounds like, right? Or they're going to try to have some kind of scheduled shifts. But I want to know is like who's scheduling all this? What kind of chaos would it be to try to schedule, 40,000 drivers on when they can and cannot drive?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to say a quick shout out to all the people watching. So Mark, Rideshare Lisa, Pico, Smooth Uberator, Alex, Vegas Rideshare, everybody else who's watching, what's going on, Chris Klotz, Carlos, driving till 8. I can't deal with the drunks. You know what? Hey, Carlos, I got to say, though, one good thing about dealing with the drunks is I'd rather have them in my car, even though they get annoying as hell, or whatever, than on the road where we could come in contact with each other. So that's the only thing I'm going to say when it comes to drinking and driving. Check out my story that I did last week about my story with drinking and driving and why I like doing rideshare, even at night. So, but yeah, hey, it's all up to you guys. You guys are drivers. You do it when you want, when you feel comfortable. According to 49 states, minus the 5 boroughs in New York and California. But yeah.
That is funny right there. Let's get some thumbs up in here, guys. Come on, we got 21 watching, we got 5 up. What's going on? Get some thumbs up in here, guys.
Yeah, thumbs up would be cool. All right. Yeah, if they have to employ 400,000 drivers around there, it doesn't make sense for them to stay there. Uber would have to change much more to a ride. It would charge much more to a rider. It's possible, but one of the things though that I've seen. I don't know if you've seen on maybe certain Facebook pages where they'll actually post their earnings of what the driver made and then what Uber and Lyft have charged. And you might get, $12 or $14 as a driver, but the rider actually ended up paying $30, $35 and Uber or Lyft is pocketing the rest. So,
oh yeah, we only get upfront pricing now, so we only get paid for time and miles, and they still charge them what they were charging them before the change.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with surge. You get that if you're in a flat rate market, the passenger is still paying that multiplier surge, even though you're getting a flat 325 or a flat $4 or something, you're not getting that multiplier surge, which could be 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5x.
But you're definitely losing money than before. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
And then, yeah, so I mean, okay, so AB5 is, in the works where it could be signed and become into law. There's a lot of disgruntled drivers out there, which, we all knew that what we were getting into when we signed up. So the whole benefits thing and the whole employment thing, I'm not really sure why certain drivers are saying, yeah, I want to be an employee, when you signed up and you knew that it wasn't going to be this type of work. It was going to be more on the independent contractor side, or that's what you were going to be claimed, where, you had to, still provide for certain things, where employees don't get, with like employee benefits and all that, you don't get any of that. And they flat out say, so if you read the terms of service, it flat out says it in there. And then, these are the rates that you agree to in that. So it makes sense that, drivers were okay with that when they were getting the right amount of money, because everybody was getting paid pretty good at that point. You said what, $2.35 you were getting paid earlier?
$2.25 a mile, and that was when it was good. And then they cut the rates, and things were still okay. But when they when they brought in upfront pricing and changed when we used to get paid 80-20 or 75-25, depending on when you joined, then everything went downhill from there. Before then, people weren't arguing, complaining about money. They were complaining about saturation. So we've always been complaining about saturation because everybody wants to be greedy and try to make the most money possible, which there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to realize there's going to be competition out there, guys, no matter in what business you're working. But yes, since they dropped the 80-20 and then they dropped the rates again on top of that, that's when drivers got pissed.
Yeah, and not only, you're dropping, so some of the area in California, they're driving 60 cents a mile now, when they used to get double, triple that. And so, again, I mean, you can't hand out all this stuff and then be like, oh, we're going to start taking it away, and expect people to be happy about that. So, I mean, if we could wave a magic wand and keep the pressure of AB5 on Uber and Lyft, but not necessarily make it law where it might not actually benefit drivers or might cause them problems, what would you say would be the best course for Uber and Lyft and other gig economy platforms to, but we'll stick mostly with Uber and Lyft being rideshare. What would you say would be the best for drivers out there, whether it be a simple fix, whether it be, adding employee benefits or paid time off or any of this type of stuff? What would you say would be best for drivers overall?
Personally, to make everything best, they just need to implement 80-20, 75-25 again. I mean, most drivers would be happy with that. I know there's those full-time drivers out there that would be happier with benefits or anything, but most don't want that. So either they should do it and give people a choice. Give drivers a choice. You get two choices. You can be an employee, but you have to follow these stipulations and rules, or you can stay an independent contractor and follow these stipulations and rules and get the 80-20. You know what I'm saying? So either one's going to get guaranteed a dollar amount, but have different rules and stuff than the other ones, even though that'll be more work for them. And that's why I think anything more for them is really less. They don't want to do more. They don't want to do more for drivers. They don't want to have to deal with more crap from everything else. So that's why I definitely think there's going to be some kind of agreement. And I think it's going to be more towards drivers not having a choice at all anymore. You're going to either choose to drive or not in the end. And when you choose to drive, I really believe they're going to have some kind of shifts. I honestly really do believe that, even though a lot of people are saying not. But New York just showed it today, guys. I just showed everybody. That's the proof that people were like, oh, it could happen, could not. I just showed people proof.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I can do? And look, because we're even talking about the proof, I took a picture of it so that way I have it. And it says it. This means you may not always be able to go online if there aren't enough riders requesting trips in your area. Starting Tuesday, September 17th, rider demand will determine how many drivers can be online at the same time. Okay, guys, in black and white from people's Uber apps. Inside the app itself, it's saying this. If there's not enough riders, then there cannot be but so many drivers. And who's to choose which of these drivers get to go online? So if you really think that's going to make you happier, make you more money, I don't know what to tell you. Because I don't think it's going to, guys. If anything, it's going to piss off even more drivers, and drivers are going to lose even more money, and you're going to be forced to find something else.
Yep. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's something. I mean, I've been thinking about it and trying to figure out what could work best as well for drivers. And, just raising the rates first off would be much better for drivers altogether. Instead of, this 35 cent or 42 cent in certain test markets Lyft is doing, but bringing it back up to, $1.50 somewhere in there, in that range, or doing 80-20 or 75-25 split.
If they bring back 80-20 and 75-25 and then raise the rates at least so everybody around the board was getting at least $1, I'm sure that would shut up so many people, because then you could afford to go buy your own insurance and benefits and everything else, and you wouldn't have to rely on Ubers and Lyfts. Because let's think about it, guys. If you want these benefits from Uber and Lyft and everything, how good do you think these benefits are going to be? I mean, they are cheap. They prove that they are cheap to us, guys. They overcharge the riders. They're paying us less. What kind of benefits do you really think you're going to get? What do you think, your paid time off at what, $10 an hour or something? I mean, it's not going to be worth it, guys. And just think, if you don't follow whatever stipulations they have, they could just deactivate you. If you think you can get deactivated for any reason now, when you become an employee, they could just be like, oh, we had to downsize. Bam, kicked off.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, yeah. And then here's the other thing. If they want to, who's to say that they're going to hire all drivers anyways?
Exactly. You're going to have probably drug tests. You never know. They might do some kind of physicals out there to make sure people are actually physical fit to drive the vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of, if people think that they're going to pay millions of dollars to lobby all this and then turn around and put a smile on and pay all this extra money out, it just ain't going to happen. I don't see it happening at all.
Yeah.
All they care about is their bottom dollar, and they will do anything possible and everything necessary to keep us as independent contractors. And they have the money and, the power pretty much to keep everything tied up for years and years. So drivers are still going to be unhappy. They're still going to do whatever they want in the meantime. And either way, it's a losing situation there.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I really think it is. The only thing now that drivers can do is if somehow people band together and showed it to them like, hey, we'll either pay us more or we won't drive. But there's so many people that will take the place of somebody else that it's hard to have that threat actually work. Like when people are doing strikes, you see all the people out there striking, and what are they doing? They're yelling at the other fellow drivers that are still driving because they're like, oh, well, I'm making a surge money now. I might as well go out there and make this money.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the problem. There's so many drivers that, even if you say one thing on like a Facebook page, you'll have 14 other opinions trying to say, no, that's wrong, or yeah, that's right, or I would have done it this way and that way. And like, there's no continuity or even like a uniting factor. It's like, I mean, some people, it's like, why would you even jump down somebody's throat as a driver for, asking a question or seeing how they'd handle it? We should be helping drivers instead of, knocking it down and
building them up instead of tearing them down.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
So,
my phone just hit 10%, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll wrap it up then. A couple of comments. Randall K says, you guys don't get it. This is California. Oh, we get it. New York is just like California when it comes to a lot of things. It's primarily a Democratic ran state, which likes to take taxes. So essentially, if you want to follow the paper trail, you're going to probably see AB5 as more of a money grab over, benefiting drivers in any way, shape, or form. The only thing that it's doing is taking money out of both Uber and Lyft's pockets as well as drivers' pockets to try to make $7 to $9 billion more from the reports that I've heard and the articles that I've read. Whether that stands to be fully true or not, those are some analysts that wrote those articles, so take it up with them.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, no, Randall, I get it. Absolutely. Trust me, I do. Take it away. It sucks. It does. Yeah, it does. Drivers Unite. What's up, Fun with Drones? How's it going? Reggie. Yeah, keep it flexible. They should be responsible for things that happen to drivers and riders. Yeah, I completely agree there, because they're the ones who are facilitating, the ride to begin with. They're the ones who are creating the lead generation. So yeah, they probably should. Not interested in going to Nevada. You could go to Arizona. A lot of people are going to Arizona from California. Rideshare Lisa, have I seen bonuses in your market? Yes, I've had promotions and bonuses. I've still seen surge, but I'm in Buffalo, so I have a lot of different things.
You've seen bonuses instead of surging.
Yeah,
That's
they've been putting bonuses out. Are you thinking the streak bonus? Is that what you're talking about?
That's what she said. She said, "Have you seen these bonuses in your market?" I've had a few. They had bonuses instead of surge.
Yeah. Well, they're doing bonus, or I'm sorry, they're doing consecutive ride bonus. So like $3.50 or $4 for 3 rides or whatever it is.
Yeah,
extra.
But usually they always had that and surge.
Yeah. Well, they do both in my area.
So maybe there's just not surge going on, Rideshare Lisa. Maybe you're just seeing your bonus thing, but you're not. There's just not surge out there.
Yeah, I think she's in Syracuse, so the only thing you might have is like Thursday nights or something when everybody's going out to drink from Syracuse U. So yeah, it's probably it's a smaller market. I mean, like I said, I'm in Buffalo, so just in Erie County alone, it's 1 million people. Then you count up the falls with all the events going on too, like sporting events with the multiple colleges that are nearby. When people are looking for rides and there's surge, then yeah, we hit surge. Last night there was surge in different areas that I was driving. Even Tuesday night was absolutely crazy. I think I still have multiplier surge, so sorry for everybody who has flat rate surge. But I think it was.
I heard I have that too. I heard I have multiple here, so I'm kind of interested to see that again.
Nice, yeah. I think I saw Tuesday night. It was 4.2 was the highest I seen.
I haven't seen that in ages.
And then, the airport hits it a lot at night too, which is great. So it really just depends on when you're driving, what's going on in your area. So like big concerts or big events going on, pay attention to the sporting events that are going on in Syracuse University. I don't know the market there really, so I can't really speak other than that. But yeah, surge will still happen with the bonuses. It just depends on if there's enough drivers to cover the demand that's going on. Just don't chase it.
Yeah, never chase it. Never.
Yeah, never chase it. Yeah, you need to move. You could do a destination filter out to Buffalo. It's only a 2-hour drive, but I don't really recommend doing that because you're not going to get any rides in between. But yeah, so any last things you want to say with AB5? Because I know your phone's dying.
Tell Dustin. What's going on, Rideshare PA? AB5, I'm glad it's not happening in my market. I can't wait to see what actually happens in the end and hope that somehow this may wise Uber and Lyft up. Let them know that what they need to do so that way other states don't follow suit on this. Yeah. Because I personally don't want it to happen. Some people say it's a bargaining chip and everything else, but it's just like there's already rules in other places and they don't follow them. So nothing really forces them to do anything until a certain point. You know what I'm saying? And people don't have the time to wait. Your bills aren't going to wait for you to make money. You guys got to need to make money now, today. So please have backup plans, guys. AB5, good or bad, only time's gonna tell. That's the main thing. Only time will tell what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, again, we can all speculate and think, and we can say that they're using fear tactics and that, but you got to look at it from the opposite angle too. That what if this is true? What if they're saying is actually what's going to happen or what they're planning for? Because maybe they do want to be in line with what could happen. So yeah, it's it's something we got to watch out for, because like I said, if California does it, it's a very good chance New York could do it, especially with what they're doing in New York City and the 5 boroughs there when it comes to drivers and just rideshare in general.
And then every other state could potentially end up following suit as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any of the high tax states, believe me, they're probably looking at this and seeing what could happen. So, Jersey, New York, Illinois, a couple other states out there that are higher tax states. You might want to watch out. Even maybe progressive states like Oregon and Washington, things. You might have something that happens in your area more quicker, or could be the first few states, because the things that I've read in articles named all of those states already too. So it makes sense, just the type of state that they are in terms of government and how it's ran and all that. So
totally agree with it. And all we're going to do is be able to just sit back, keep debating about it, and speculating about it, and just hoping things aren't going to go down the way we all think they really could.
Yeah, and hopefully, and hopefully, maybe we can reach more and more drivers out there, both on your channel, my channel, and everybody else's channel, on figuring out ideas to make it better, just overall anywhere. So then they can't say that, oh, this model doesn't work, or you're not being the right, or you're not getting paid right, or you're not classified right. So we're going to step in and do that, because now if they do try doing that, 100% that it's a money grab, that it's a tax revenue grab, and they don't give a shit about drivers whatsoever when it comes to the legislator.
Amen.
So, all right, with that being said, we're going to end it now, guys. So I just want to say thank you again, Dustin. Make sure, if you haven't checked out his channel, I don't know how you wouldn't have. I'm sure most of the people that watch mine are from Dustin's channel or know who Dustin is. So again, make sure you check out Dustin Is Driving on his channel. He does a lot of great videos, a lot of news, a lot of things going on with things. He keeps it real. Lays the Smakovich down on a lot of people. So yeah. But thanks again, Dustin, for coming on. So I'm going to end this, guys. Yeah. One last thing. The government just wants its share, Rideshare PA. Yes. 100% I agree with you when you peel back the layers of AB5 and that. So, but with that being, go ahead.
So I was saying exactly. I totally agree. And yeah, guys, just please have the backup plans. You're going to have to start thinking about it. If you don't think about you, nobody will. And on that note, I will say, everybody always knows to Uber on or don't.
All right. And as always, never drink and drive. Always tip your drivers, and we'll see you next time.